The mirror has always been something people looked at with awe and curiosity. They believed a mirror could hold secrets hidden in its shadows. This one was different. Its darkness did not reflect back. It seemed to swallow everything it touched. Quiet and eternal, it seemed to watch in silence. Looking into it was more than seeing yourself. Within its black surface, the unseen waited, deep inside its endless depths. To understand the fear, we have to travel back to a time before mirrors were mass-produced. They were rare, expensive. In ancient Egypt, they were sacred objects associated with the goddess of beauty, Hathor. They were not just for grooming, they were ritual tools placed in tombs to symbolize eternal beauty in the afterlife. The very word for mirror comes from the Latin mirare, to wonder at. And that is exactly what our ancestors did. They didn't see a simple reflection, they saw a true representation of their soul. This powerful belief is the core of the broken mirror superstition. The Greeks believed your reflection was your soul. This idea is so powerful, it became a terrifying cautionary tale. The famous myth of Narcissus isn't just a story about vanity. It's a chilling tale about the peril of the reflection itself. A beautiful young man falls in love with an image he can never touch, pining away for an image that disappears as soon as he tries to grasp it, until he dies. He was trapped by his own reflection, a force so compelling it destroyed him. To the Romans, this tale was more than vanity. It was a lesson in the danger of reflections. To priests, mirrors were ritual tools, a way to see into realms beyond. They were feared as much as revered. Mirrors were believed to hold a piece of you. Once captured, it could never be released. When mirrors cracked, it was never an accident. It was the soul itself, fractured and broken. The superstition of 7 years' bad luck was born here. A broken reflection meant a broken soul. Crafting a mirror was dangerous work. Every strike of the hammer was said to bind spirit to metal. To bury a mirror with the dead was protection. It was a guide for the soul on its journey. From obsidian to myth, mirrors were never just glass. They were windows into the human spirit and its darkest fears. Now, let's get to the curse. The specific superstition of 7 years of bad luck is a direct legacy of the Roman Empire. The Romans were the first to mass-produce glass mirrors around the 3rd century AD, making breakage a much more common event. But the superstition wasn't arbitrary. It was based on a belief that the human body and its soul went through a complete regenerative cycle every 7 years. So, if a mirror was believed to reflect the soul and you broke it, you weren't just breaking glass, you were shattering your soul. The bad luck was the consequence of having a damaged soul. The 7-year timeline was not random. It was a clear, defined sentence, the exact amount of time it would take for your body to regenerate and produce a new soul, finally ridding you of the curse. In some Russian folklore, mirrors were considered the invention of the devil himself, designed to draw souls out from bodies. And this is why you'll never see the reflection of a vampire. These creatures are said to have no soul, and therefore no image is reflected in the glass. The same belief once applied to babies, whose souls were believed to be fragile and not fully developed. Looking into a mirror before their first birthday could make their souls vulnerable to being trapped. For centuries, mirrors were not just feared. They were used as instruments of power. The peoples of ancient Mexico used polished obsidian mirrors to travel to the world of gods and ancestors for visions and prophecies. The witches of Thessaly in ancient Greece were rumored to write their oracles in human blood on mirrors. In the Middle Ages, figures like John Dee, an advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, used a black mirror to communicate with angelic beings. And then there are the urban legends. The most famous of all, Bloody Mary. The ritual is simple. Stand in a dark bathroom with a candle and chant her name 13 times into the mirror. Depending on the legend, her bloody ghost will appear, screaming, scratching at your eyes. One popular origin story claims she was a young girl buried alive in the 1800s, and her ghostly hands, covered in blood from clawing at her coffin, now reach out from the other side of the mirror. The mirror's power has long been a favorite subject of storytellers, its symbolism a reflection of our deepest fears and desires. In the fairy tale of Snow White, the mirror is an all-knowing oracle, revealing hidden truths and desires. In Greek mythology, Perseus did not face the Gorgon Medusa directly, but used his polished shield as a mirror to turn her stony gaze back on her. But perhaps no story captures the true terror of the broken mirror better than Alfred, Lord Tennyson's poem, The Lady of Shalott. The heroine is trapped in a tower, cursed to only view the world through a magic mirror. She weaves a tapestry of the world she sees reflected there. But when she finally gives in and looks directly out the window, her mirror shatters. The mirror cracked from side to side. "The curse is come upon me," cried the Lady of Shalott. The image of a cracked mirror, the symbolic moment of a curse taking hold, is an enduring literary image. It has been used to great effect by masters of horror and the supernatural, from Edgar Allan Poe to H.P. Lovecraft and Stephen King, who know that the most terrifying monsters are the ones that stare back from the other side of the glass. So, what is the science behind all this? There is no physical law of science that can connect the breaking of a reflective surface to a person's future well-being. The true science is not in the glass. The persistence of the broken mirror superstition is a fascinating case study in psychology. The human mind is equipped with powerful that can create and reinforce beliefs, even without a shred of evidence. The first is magical thinking. This is the illogical belief that two unrelated events are connected through a supernatural link. Ultimately, superstitions and the broken mirror are not just relics of old beliefs. It is coping mechanisms against the truth. It is far more psychologically comforting to attribute a negative event to a specific, manageable cause, like a broken mirror. The broken mirror doesn't shatter a soul. But the story of the superstition is a powerful reflection of our collective psyche, our enduring struggle for control in an uncertain world, and our timeless need to find meaning in the reflections of ourselves.